Welcome to the Vana video newsletter, proudly brought to you by The Age and the Australian Financial Review. Huge episode awaits. Let's get into it.
Hi, Kate McDonald from Vice Chair here at Vana and on the board of the NLNA. We're here today to talk about distribution. Consolidation has happened up in New South Wales, is currently happening in Queensland, and it's coming here to Victoria. We would like all our distributors to get involved in the RFP process. We want our distributors to be the best distributors that there possibly can be within the state of Victoria. So if you would like any questions answered, if you would like some clarity, if you would like to know a little bit more about the RFP process, please come to us and ask the questions. We would like our distributors to be good distributors. We would like our retailers to be better retailers. And at Vana, we would like to assist you in any way that we can. Today, we have Scott Rawlings from Newscorp and Brendan, our CEO, who are going to do a Q&A, and hopefully that will answer some of those questions that you may have about distribution and what is happening in Victoria.
Today we have Scott Rawlings, General Manager, National Logistics at Newscorp, talking all things distribution. Scott, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Brendan.
It's fantastic to have you here, Scott. Let's talk about the request for proposal for Victorian distributors. What is that going to look like and how far away is it at the moment?
At the moment, we're at implementation stage in Queensland. We anticipate that will be completed by October next year. So we're currently working through our plan now for the engagement and then the release of the RFP here in Victoria. We anticipate that will take place whilst we're implementing the model in Queensland itself. So at some stage within the next 6 to 12 months, we can expect something in the marketplace.
Is it available to every single distributor we have here in Victoria? Can everyone be involved in the request for proposal process?
Absolutely. We will run a short RFI process to start where we just gain expressions of interest so that we're not bombarding people that don't want the documentation.
Yeah.
But every distributor will have the opportunity to participate within that process regardless of their size.
What does good look like to you? What is Newscorp looking for from our distributors that are distribution members with Vana?
We want to create an environment of a great customer experience, and that's for both of us. Obviously, the longer we engage those customers, the less likely those customers are to leave us. So first and foremost needs to be customer service. Secondly, we want visibility of our customers, both retail and subscribers. And thirdly, we want to see the high level of service that we currently receive, which is close to best in country, I have to say, here in Victoria, continues through the change and indeed with whoever's successful within that RFP.
Now let's talk about regions. How far and wide is this going to extend to Victorian distributors?
We call it Metro, but Metro for us at News includes both of the peninsulas. So a lot of people don't class, obviously, Geelong and Mornington as part of Metro.
Yeah.
But as far as newspaper distribution goes, that includes Metro. So if we think metropolitan Melbourne, with the addition of both the Bellarine and Mornington peninsulas, that will be the scope of this current RFP.
Once the request for a proposal goes to the distributor, how long will they be given, in order to respond to News Corp?
It's a difficult process to understand just how much time is appropriate. We've been through 2 of those now, and we think that around a month is sufficient for people to go through it. We'll obviously sit down with people such as yourself and take feedback on whether that timeline's appropriate. We don't want to gallop across the desert on a thoroughbred. It might be more like a camel getting across there slowly and surely, about making sure we get to the end with the result that we want.
With the request for a proposal, this is a templated scenario, so everyone's got the same opportunity answering exactly the same questions. Am I right in saying that?
Absolutely. We need to be able to compare apples and apples.
Yeah.
And that's why we templated in the first instance. It doesn't mean that we won't accept a variation to that if someone says, here's an opportunity to be better again.
Yeah.
But the proposal must comply so that we can compare each distributor fairly and equitably.
Outside of Melbourne Metro, Geelong and Mornington Peninsula, what's News' position there?
Our position there is that the thought process of consolidation still needs to exist. Largely in Victoria, within the country regions, we have seen a number of areas consolidate. Yeah. But at this point in time, we're focusing on the large volume areas of the Metro Sydneys, Metro South East Queensland, and then Metro Victoria and South Australia as well first. And then we will come back to those regional areas, which do require attention as well for exactly the same reasons that the metro areas require the same change in direction.
What's the financial process for the respondents that are not successful?
We will offer the ability for each one of those companies to become a retailer for us. This is not about cutting down the amount of retail outlets available. It's about expanding and actually making sure that the products available within that retail footprint, it's actually available more consistently at the quantities that retailers require. We've actually seen through the Sydney process an improvement in a lot of areas where I guess the less proficient distributors have now moved on.
Yeah.
And an efficient logistics process has enabled those retailers to sell more papers than what they were previously selling.
Communication's the key, Scott. There's no question about that. So are you and your team available to talk to our distributors directly?
Absolutely. We're available to meet with yourselves and your distributors whenever they'd like to, because that's one of the key learnings that we found in the previous implementation, that communication was an absolute key to the process.
Sure. Just hitting the summary notes, timeline is 6 to 12 months.
Yes.
This RFP process is available to all distributors, no matter how big or small.
Correct.
The regions are Melbourne Metro, Geelong region, and also the Mornington Peninsula.
That is correct.
Anything else on consolidation of distribution that you could share with our members, Scott?
News is in this for the long haul. We're continuing to invest in newspapers and the industry. We are committed to print long term. This is about lengthening the runway that we've all got within this industry.
Thank you so much today, Scott, for all your time. That is the latest on distribution with Newscorp. Here's the latest from The Age and the Australian Financial Review on all things distribution in Victoria. Nine supports a consolidated distribution model in Melbourne Metro that provides sustainable delivery of newspapers for at least 10 years. Consistent delivery standards and customer experience, transparency of the customer through direct publisher contact, transparency of data, an equitable cost model amongst users of the distribution network. Nine believes successful implementation of a consolidated distribution model hinges on retaining existing experience in the network, large distribution zones that follow existing territory boundaries, and an implementation timeframe that supports success of distributors. Through Vana's communication, Nine became aware of News Corp's intent to consolidate their intent to start a request for a proposal process in late 2020, early 21. In light of this news, Nine will start working towards consolidation to ensure delivery of The Age and the Australian Financial Review is sustained. Consolidation is a move away from traditional retailer and distribution functions of a newsagent. Nine is interested in hearing from newsagents who want to expand to be pure play logistics companies. Interested parties will need to have the ability to provide proposals that provide a sustainable business model, a warehouse operations plan, recruiting and training plans, optimised routes for retail and home delivery, complaint handling process, and the ability to maintain a complaint rate of 0.5% or less, reporting and data management capabilities, contingency and disaster planning, workplace health and safety plans, appropriate IT systems. Interested parties can contact Wayne Cousins or Chris Fines at the following email addresses that are on your screen now. A great episode and a big thanks to our partner on the newsletter, Nine. The Age and the Australian Financial Review. Huge thanks to Michael Stevens and the executive team at Nine. And also to Scott Rawlings, the General Manager, National Logistics at Newscorp, for an update on where exactly it's all at here in Victoria for distribution. And our Vice Chairman, Kate McDonald, travelled up from Ballarat this morning to give us her take on distribution, where it's at the moment, and sharing her experience and advice to our members. A big thanks to everyone. And next month, it's a Christmas edition, and we'll see you then. Stay safe and take care.